he's got supporters. Detroit, New York, Los Angeles, inciting large-scale arrests and sympathy marches.
I'm very aware of that, Mr. Hoover.
What I do know is he's nonviolent.
What I need to know right now, what's Martin Luther King about to do next?
Mr. President, Dr. King is here.
Mr. President, in the South, there have been thousands of racially motivated murders. We need your help.
Dr. King, this thing's just gonna have to wait.
It cannot wait.
You got one big issue, I got 101.
Selma it is.
Here is the next great battle.
Selma's the place, and they ready.
Dr. King.
I tell you, that white boy can hit.
We will not tolerate agitators attempting to orchestrate a disturbance in this state.
It is unacceptable that they use their power to keep us voiceless. Those that have gone before us say no more.
Selma dramatizes a critical time in this nation's history, bringing together Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Alabama Governor George Wallace, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover, President Lyndon Baines Johnson, and other historical players who made decisions that resonate to this day. As a motion picture and not a documentary, the film does indeed play loose and fast with some facts and actual events. That's what movies do. But at the end of the day, they're produced to make us think. Sad to say that motion pictures such as Selma are also used to promote careers and push forward agendas from those who are all too often allegedly at the forefront of using their celebrity status and power to effect real change in America, yet choose to remain silent until the right time comes along to line their pockets. Selma is co-produced by Harpo Productions, the corporate media arm of the very wealthy and very influential Oprah Winfrey. Let's pause for a moment, give her credit. Winfrey's a giant in the broadcast industry and has risen to her current level of power with lots of hard work, guile, and great timing, taking advantage of situations, allowing her to be in the right place at the right time. To her, the right time to speak out about what has been happening in America with regard to civil rights, the abuse of same on both sides, fabrications, stretches of truth, and misstatements that have been told and repeated as fact in events such as Ferguson, Cleveland, and Staten Island. That time wasn't when they happened. Rather now, when a movie she has a great financial and personal stake in is released and seeking to attract ticket buyers.
What can be gleaned from our film, Selma, is to really take note of the strategic intention required when you want real change. Strategic, peaceful intention when you want real change. I think it's wonderful to march and to protest, and it's wonderful to see all across the country people doing it. But what I really am looking for is some type of leadership to come out of this to say, this is what we want. This is what we want. This is what has to change, and these are the steps that we need to take to make these changes, and this is what we're willing to do to get it.
She's correct in calling out the lack of leadership in this current need for serious and factual discussion at a time when America is being rocked by frauds, cheats, liars, charlatans, carpetbaggers, race hustlers, and greedy toadies seeking to line their pockets with donations and broadcast airtime to make themselves more famous, more notable, and a lot wealthier in the process. But where was Oprah on the night Ferguson happened? Where was Oprah, undoubtedly a very powerful black voice of leadership, on the day riots shook Missouri, L.A., and other cities and towns across America? Why was she not standing tall, putting her reputation on the line to call for peace? Winfrey here calls for leadership, those with a plan to make a real difference. Why does she not take a chance to call out race hustler Al Sharpton and his ilk for seeking to incite violence instead of calling for peaceful and meaningful protests? The answer's simple, really. Oprah had to wait for the right time, the opening of her movie, the perfect time to promote her investment, to make a buck before using a role as a black leader to help stem the violence. Winfrey was, of course, scared to say anything at the time riots and emotions flared. Think of how it might have affected her bottom line, ratings on programs she produces, the possible backlash from those who disagree with her stand, maybe even being seen as seeking to side with anyone but her own race. Selma is still an important film, one with a message, that of thoughtful protests led by intelligent and meaningful leaders who truly want change at any cost, including livelihoods and even their lives. That takes real courage, something Oprah Winfrey apparently left in her bank account. And that is telling it like it is. Rock on, true believers. Thanks so much for joining us. Middle of the week is all done. We're back for Friday Eve, heading right for Friday and the rest of the weekend. Join us again tomorrow where we question everything. This is MidPoint.